Hello everyone, welcome to this session. I am Sanyukta Saxena and we are already down about 8 tiles and our Zendala fever is really picking up well. Yeah, you are liking the tiles. Thank you so much for all your appreciations and admiration. So today is this string, right? So I'm going to first quickly start drawing the string and you can follow me along and then we can start tangling on the string. So you can see here the string has a star in the center, right? Just the way we drew star in one of our previous strings. Yeah. And then there is another conical shape above the star, just something like dream catcher, right? The tangle that we have drawn a couple of times, right? So this is the center of the tile and I'm going to first just draw this is a circle for reference, just like this, so that my star is in place, right? Then one triangle here, one triangle here, right? And then M, right? Like this, right? So once you have the star in place, then the next is these conical shapes. Yeah, so you might want to maintain that angle as I mentioned in the previous session also. So we are drawing freehand here. If you want, you can use some tools, equipments, but I won't advise, right? So once we are done with the star, then these cones above these points, yeah, so like this. So draw the string lightly, don't press your pencil too hard. It's okay if all the shapes are not perfect, right? And then you can see that there are these circles which are forming this kind of a shape here, right? So why not draw this shape and then we can convert into it into a circle, yeah? So just drawing that. It's not exactly a circle, it's like a tomato. Yeah, right? So now that we have done that, it is going to go a little flatter above and come down like this, and then we have this section here. Again going to go a little flatter, join here, and then we have this section here, right? It's not joined from the top, right? So it's like away like this. Again go round and just make this. Again go like that, right? So the strings seem to be difficult, but once you start drawing they are pretty easy. Yeah, they start in a certain fashion and you get it right, right? So see, the string is ready. Yeah, so this is the string that we are going to be working on today. And as I mentioned, the center thing looks like a grid for the tangle dream catcher, so I'm going to go with that tangle, right? So let's first ink this star. Yeah, and once we have done that, again I'm moving to the next and I'll add a cubine square here and then connect this end to this end. Yeah, basically cubine, an extension of the tangle cubine arranged in a certain fashion becomes a tangle called dream catcher. Yeah, take your time. right? So we have done cubine in this section. Now this section I'm just going to add some simple lines with a weight. I'll just show you. I'm just inking the section first. Yeah, and then just first go down straight, add some weight. We have done this exercise earlier also. Looks really nice and it's very simple to do. Small little spaces. It is again a triangular spaces. If you want, you can insert anything else of your choice, right? So whatever you feel like, please feel free. So I'm just going to join this here, add small weight, right? Just going to zoom in a little more. Yeah, so I'll do the same exercise for all these sections. Start with the center, give a slight curve to the line, add some weight at the end of the line. Yeah, again join this center line, again join this, slight curve to the lines, yeah. So I have done that exercise. Now we have these moon, half moon kind of shapes, right? So up to us whether we want to add, what do we want, means it's kind of a mulligan kind of a shape or a crescent moon kind of a shape. Yeah, you can make it out. So yeah, a whole lot of tangles that can fit in there. So let's do a tangle called Vega, right? So Vega starts with this crisscross axis, right? So that's how the tangle Vega starts. And then we have this inking of each section, which is enclosed by these lines, right? So what I'm doing is adding an aura inside the section and then inking it, right? So first I drew these X's, lines drawn behind each other, not crossing the lines at any place, and then adding aura to each of the sections created by these crisscross lines and then inking them. Yeah, so that's what I am doing here, and that forms the tangle Vega. Yeah, that's the tangle Vega. I'll show you once more. Slanting lines starting from one end to the other of the crescent shape. Again, rotate your tile, make an X, don't cut the lines, draw behind like this. Yeah, and now just aura each shape, each section, and then ink it. Again, inking is an option, but it's a good option. It will look nice, right? We haven't inked much yet, so always some amount of inking will add. So go with inking, or if you don't want, then you can add something else inside. Small little tipple, printum, anything, just dots, orbs, whatever you feel like. Yeah, just so this is the tangle vega. I'm now going to just add a rough line there and add some flux inside. Yeah, so adding simple flux, Rick's version of flux. If you find some small little spaces, just insert one or two orbs here and there. Always looks nice as far as tangle flux is concerned. Gives it a more organic look. Yeah, so just going with the spaces available, and I have filled in flux. Yeah, so I'm going to continue like that, or you can keep changing the tangles. It is entirely up to you. Yeah, so let's alternate the tangles. So what I'm going to do is just add a nice boundary, add another aura, like this, and then just add an orb, add two lines, add an orb, add two lines, add an orb, add two lines. Yeah, you can always add a little rounding to the ends of the lines. Yeah, a little weight is all that I'm adding, like this. Yeah, I'll do the same on the other side. Again, add a thin aura inside. Add an orb, two lines, add an orb, two lines, slight curve, slightly bent towards the left. Just add a little weight at the end of the lines. And we are sorted. Yeah. Inside, if you want to keep it simple, you want to fill it up. Since this one outside is pretty open, we can always add something which has more inking inside, right? So let us see, what do we want to add? Probably Hollowborg. So I'm just randomly deciding tangles on the basis of spaces that I have, going with the flow, not thinking much what where. Yeah, yeah, I think that's sufficient. Yeah, and we can comfortably ink the small little spaces left. Yeah, so take your time and just ink the spaces left in between your Hollowborg slowly. So Hollybog is one of the first few tangles that we learn as we start with our Zentangle practice, because one of the main principles of Zentangle, that is drawing behind, comes from this tangle Hollybog. Yeah, that is, we don't cut lines anywhere, we draw behind, we go under. Yeah, so that's the tangle Hollybog, right? So I'm going to repeat these two, right? So now again I'm going to go with Vega. Again draw the crisscross. Again add an aura and close the space inside. Yeah, and ink it. So just take your time and slowly do the exercise for rest of the sections that we have. Yeah, so I have done the same exercise for all sections, almost finishing here. I'm left with inking my Hollybog for 2 sections. Yeah, so take your time and slowly ink the in between sections. Don't haste up, enjoy the process. You can see how blacks add to the look of the tile. So inking is as important a part of your tangling. So take your time and slowly ink the spaces in between your Hollybog. Again, there is always an option to not ink it, or ink few of the sections, leave the rest, add some other pattern in between, right? So you can explore those options also. I generally ink it if I think I need that drama factor in my tile. If there is enough of inking already, I may skip inking. Yeah, so depends on what tangles have you used, how much of inking is already done. Yeah, so I'll do the same here. Just add Hollybog, crisscross lines, random lines going behind each other, not crossing each other at any point, drawing behind, drawing whichever way you want to, just like straws lying on the floor, randomly thrown. Yeah, yeah, I think that's enough. So I'll just ink the rest as I did for others. So this tile, again you can see there is lot of space left for the border. So if you want, you can add another border, extend it, or you can just leave it there, whatever you want to. Let's see if we want to extend the string a little more, or we want to add a border to our tangling. Yeah, so I'm almost done here. Make sure you don't leave any spaces in between when you are inking. Yeah, so that's about our tangling part. In the center, if you want, you can add something, or you can just leave it as it is. Let us see. I don't know, what do I want to add. I'll just add these small curls, just like that. I don't know if it is a tangle. It is not a tangle, it is just fescues curled up, right? So now let us add a nice aura. Just go with the shapes. Yeah, I don't know, probably we'll just add some puffs and that should suffice. Yeah, so let us first shade. So I'll pick up my pencil and add graphite on one side of the cubine. Yeah, and then here. So shading in Zentangle is more of instinct based than light based. Yeah, just about how do you want to at that point of time. And you learn more as you shade more, you draw more, so you kind of understand what looks better, what looks nice, how to shade a tangle. So there is no standard way to shade any tangle in Zentangle, right? As I keep saying, it all depends on the tangles that you have used, other tangles, the placement, the mood, the time of the day. Yeah, so a lot depends on those things, right? So that's about the shading. If you want, you can just add some ink here, or you can leave it like that. I don't know, probably I'll ink it. Yeah, yeah. So next is our sections that we have made. I'm going to sharpen my pencil a little. Make sure that your pencil is sharp enough always, so you use the edges, don't add too much of it. So again, we are just adding at the edges so that we have a highlight in the center. Yeah, Hollowbog, I don't think we should be adding the crossings. Generally we shade the crossings, but I don't want to shade the crossings here. They are pretty small. I will just highlight the ends. Yeah, again highlight the ends, the edges, basically enclosing the space. Same for this one. Vega also, generally intersections are highlighted, but they are small. It's good to enclose it. So add at the edges, two sides, again inside. No need to add all the ink. Again inside. right here, two sides from where lines are emerging. That's the best way to shade these. So take your time and gradually add graphite to each of the sections that you have drawn. Just as much as is required, not too much. Yeah. So done with that, let's start to blend and we'll see if we miss somewhere. So I'm just going to soften the graphite. Make sure the ink has dried up. Lot of inking here, so you don't want the tile to get damaged. Just softly soften the graphite and leave the section in the center white. Again, just the edges. Yeah. So you can see how the tangles actually start to breathe. Yeah. So going to blend all in the same fashion. Just a light hand. Not too much, just the ends. Practically using the tips here, not the edges, because I don't want too much of blending. Yeah. So we are done with the blending. Now I'm going to pick up my white chalk and highlight the spaces where there is no graphite. Yeah. So highlight here first of all for all. Highlight on Vega. You can also highlight the center here. We shall see if you want to do that. First, I'm just highlighting these crescent moons. And the Vega. Yeah. So some highlight in the center here. Yeah, let us first just soften it. Yeah, I don't think we need anything else here. If you want, you can add some highlight here, but spaces are small, so just a touch would be sufficient. Yeah. And finally, to close, let us add some puffs all around. So I'll just add, or probably you can add some printums also. So I'll just go with some printums here and close the tile. Printums is one of my go-to tangles. I can just add it anywhere. Yeah, I don't think much about how to use it. I can just use it anywhere. So just use your go-to tangles as frequently as possible. There is no need to actually know too many tangles. Even if you know some 20-25 tangles and you have practiced them enough, you can create a whole number of tiles, enormous number of tiles, using just those patterns. Yeah, so I'm just going to add printums all around, and I'm just finishing here, and that's about it. I don't think we need anything else here. If you want, you can add just a touch of gray. Just to blend it with your rest of the tangling. But you can just leave it like that also. Yeah, and a soft touch with your Totlon. Yeah, that's about it. So let us close our tile here. I'm going to put in my chop and sign and date it. Today is 12th of April 22. So the tangles that we use today, the center tangle is called Dream Catcher. They are all originals, right? Again, then we have used a tangle called Vega, which is this crisscross with X. This is 3 and 3 basically. It is just a tangleation you can call. I have used 0 and 2 lines, 1 0 2 lines. Generally it is 3 zeros 3 lines, something like that. Yeah, we have also used flux here, right, these petal shapes, and we have used hollowbog, right, these crisscross lines, and finally we have used printums. So these are the tangles that we use today: Vega, Flux, Hollowbog and Printums, and this is basically a variation of 3 and 3. So that's all for today, and I'll see you again. There are 3 more sessions left. We planned for 12 strings, right? So this is the 9th session, and I'll see you again with the 10th one, right? Till then, have a good time. Bye-bye.